The Minneapolis Bulldogs are brought to you by the Cedar Rapids Titans Arena football team. You can catch them on Round Guy Radio. We'll have all their games starting February 15th. Their home games anyway. Also, Henshaw Trailer Sales of Richland, Iowa, the Packwood Locker, and Smithburg Auto of Fairfield, Iowa. We've got Coach Worrell of the Minneapolis Bulldogs, who are on Round Guy Radio for the first time this year last night. Welcome to the program, Coach.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Well, I really enjoy your team. There's a team that kind of remind me a little bit of as Hillcrest. As Hillcrest has a lot of players that kind of just play their roles. Everybody knows exactly what they do, and it kind of go like a well-oiled machine. And I thought you had a great overall performance last night. Great team effort. Would you agree?
I do. I do. Our kids do a nice job in filling their roles and doing some things and what we ask, and that's them. That's the unselfishness of our team.
But there was tell our listeners who you played and what the score was.
We played Holy Trinity at Holy Trinity and won 55-37.
Yeah, it was a very just nice performance. You guys got like up to a 14-point lead, and then I think it was like 14-11, and I don't know that they got much closer than that, although they made some tremendous runs, as they have some really good players too, don't they?
They do. He does a nice job of coaching them. He's got a nice team.
But let me ask you first. We're gonna get to some of your players here in a second, but I want to Jack Ragar. I call him Radar O'Reilly over there. Just a freshman, but what do you think of that kid?
He plays pretty well. He plays fast. He's got a good head on his shoulders and doesn't panic a lot and does a nice job for a freshman about running their offense and doing things for them and just does a real nice job. Looks like he's really coachable. He plays defense hard. You can just tell he's a smart basketball player and give him a lot of respect.
Well, you had a player get a 1,000th point there last night. I don't know exactly what point it was. I didn't know actually until after the game was over. And it's one of my favorite players you got. And his brother was one of my favorite players. David Griffin's little brother, Max.
Well, Dave's his dad.
Or Dave, or what was the older brother's? Maddox, yeah, Maddox. Dave Griffin's his dad. Well, we're going to give Dave Griffin the Father of the Year award for putting out a couple of the best Round Guy Radio guys. But I really like Max. Really like the way he plays. He doesn't seem to, he's not out there trying to lead the team in scoring or anything. He's moving the ball around, playing smart basketball. He got a good head on his shoulders. Knows when he can take good shots. Last time we were on you guys played on Round Guy Radio last year against Wilton. He was the player of the game. He had a great game. I don't know if he's a great game every night or he just shows off for Round Guy Radio, but tell us a little bit about last night for him and then overall what it took to get to 1,000.
Just fun to coach, man. He's a even-keeled kid that you don't see a lot of emotion. You don't see a lot of different things. You don't see anger. He just plays basketball and he just comes out and gets things done.
Oh, yeah.
He can score at any level. He can shoot the three. He can drive. He can hit the mid-range. He's got one of the best mid-ranges that I've ever coached. And he just does those things and he's long. Like last night, he got out and got a couple steals and got some easy baskets. And he'll tell you that gym's tough to shoot in, and he did a really good job of attacking the basket and going and getting baskets and doing those things and making it easier on himself. And just a smart player. You can't change who he is, and you don't rattle him very easy. And he's learned to handle certain things, and he's getting better at it, and he improves, and he wants to get better every day.
Well, he's getting better, and he's making his teammates better. But you guys are having a pretty special season. I think you only have one loss in the district and just one non-conference loss to Washington in a pretty close game, and they're having an outstanding season in a much bigger school. I think it's this team playing together thing that you got going is probably the reason for your success. Plus, you have some depth. You have some depth that other schools don't have, don't you?
Yeah, we got that luxury. We have 3 guys averaging in double figures. Like you said, Max, and then you turn around and Will Lutniger's right there. He's averaging over 18 a game in the conference, and he's got 5 or 6 assists a game, and he's right there. And we'll put him on the other team's guard. And, part of Max's success is him getting the ball from Will and those guys playing together all these years and living off each other. And then you got my kid who's averaging 11 a game. And then we just have kids that just all of a sudden they just pop up, like Henry Lutnager had 9 points and eight rebounds last night. He was one and two off a double double, and you didn't think that watching the game, but man, he just had a great game last night.
Yeah, he was everywhere all the time. Well, there's two of those boys, and they were a big part of what you do. As is the Gatlin gun there, Gannon Gunn.
You should bring him up because he made 5 points. He made our first 5 points of the night, but that's not the biggest contribution he had. You look at what he's done the last 2 games. He's taken the other team's leading scorer and he just clamps down and plays defense, like unbelievable defense. I mean, he took the run kid last night and held him to 9 points. And that run kid's averaging 18, and when he wasn't on him, Henry was on him. So those 2 guys have just they've relished in that role of being stoppers. And you don't get people don't get you can go on the stat line and look at all kinds of things. You can go look at here's what Gannon does. But Gannon shows up in every single stat line. He's got assists, he's got rebounds, but his best thing he's doing for us right now is, man, here you go get him, stop that guy right there, and he's doing it.
Yeah, it's just like everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, and nobody's doing more than they can do. They're just playing within themselves. If Max is open, he shoots it. If somebody else is open, he passes it. There was a cool, calm collectedness to the way you guys played. Like you, I know I just saw the one game, and I've seen a couple games on YouTube that you played, but you do seem to be a team that's pretty even tempered, whether you're up or down. I don't know if that's a coachable technique, but it seems to be there somehow.
Good kids. That's they're there. I mean, we've talked about those 4 or 5 kids, and then you turn around and it's like you said, we're getting play off our bench and doing things, and that's exciting to watch because you had the unsung, like Brayton Delang. Brayton Delang is he'll run through the wall for you.
Yeah, that was a kid I wasn't so familiar with. It looked like he was a senior. Do you start 5 seniors?
I do. Yeah.
That's got to be a reason for the unspoken communication between all of them. Is there's a lot of new kids this year, but you got a group that's been together for quite a while.
And then you bring in Brock Spears, who's the kid's gifted athletically.
Yeah, it's like you say, you got you're breaking my neck there looking at the score sheet trying to figure out who the heck that kid is, because you just keep bringing them in, and then they keep contributing.
Yeah, they're just and it's not, you don't have to be a guy who scores 10, 12 points. We have guys filling that roles and but one guy like that pops up all the time. I mean, it's just like different guys, like that makes it easy for the other guys that are getting that are consistent there doing it. But you just have guys that are filling the roles, and and that's big.
That is big. It's pretty great. Tell me a little bit about last night's flow of the game. You did get out to a big lead. They made several charges back at you, but like you say, you kind of utilize the clock pretty well. I didn't see a lot of fouls last night. It just seemed a little bit more of a cleaner game. Tell us a little bit about the game and how you guys did kind of overcome them.
We got out to a good start. Like you said, we were up 14-11, but then we let them go on an 11-0 run. It was 14-11. And then we stretched it out to 20-11, and then they came back and made it 20-16, and they hit a layup and a 3 off that. And then we went on a 11-2 run to end the half, and had that 11, 12-point lead at half, and came out and had like 11-4 run at the start of the second quarter, and they made a little run back and had it back to 11, but we kept it right there, 11, 12, 13, and then stretched it out to 20. and part of they're scrappy. They are, and it's they got some things, and we gave some of those things up. And I'll say this, like, give them credit. They didn't quit, and they kept coming at it. And you can just tell the difference between like you said, we have an older veteran team that those I mean, six of those top seven have played. They played last year a lot of minutes. So you're talking kids who have been on the court, and he's throwing kids out there like the Ragar kid. It's first year at the high school level. The Williams kid that he averages 10, and here's this thing you don't look at. He's averaging 10, and he got 0 last night. And you want to talk about Max playing offense, and Max guarded him on defense, and gave him nothing. And that's a good effort. And you took away 19 of their points right there between him and number 14. We just that's huge. So
Yeah, they're just not. They don't have the depth that you got. You're going 7 deep, and they got some kids sick, and they're probably going 3 or 4 deep. But I did think that Nathan Box and Van Newell did kind of step up and play pretty good in that game. Van Newell gets a lot of blocks, and he made some things happen, and Nathan Box got on the board a little bit more than normal. They were scrapping and battling, but you guys you're having a great year. You got a great team, and it looks like that was a big win for you because it kind of locks you up into that. You're staying on Notre Dame's heels there a little bit.
We're on their heels a little bit. We gotta find a way to keep competing. That's half the season in the conference, and now you start back up Friday with Danville, who's improving, and then you go through those teams, and you get another chance against those teams, and like West Burlington, and that's played a 3-point game. In Danville, we played a really good game, so we got to continue to do that. We play Wilton tomorrow night, and non-conference. That'll be a heck of a test on their court, and they're super athletic and long, and their big guy is tough. So it'll be, we're going to get tested here. The second half of the year, we've got a schedule that's going to be, we have them. Like you said, we'll play Notre Dame. The conference games will be tough, and then we go to the conference. We play Mount Pleasant and Fort Madison, and we go all the way up to Waterloo, Columbus, and play them, and they're really good this year. And we just got to count,
Well, what is your record in the conference and overall?
Now we're 6-1 in the conference, 7-2 overall.
So you're not really playing many out of conference games yet. It's all conference stuff. But your conference is tough, man. I mean, that's tough down there. One thing I'm trying to figure out is you and Winfield Mount Union are pretty close, but one's in the north and one's in the south. But you Central Lee is excellent. West Burlington's excellent. Holy Trinity's excellent. You guys are seem to be just kind of, by your record, you're just at the top next to Notre Dame, and Notre Dame has that the Shea kid down there, the Willie Mays of basketball down there. He's hard to. No one's figured out how to slow him down and get a win against him, have they?
Nope. Yeah, he's playing good. He's super athletic. He's strong. He's another kid that can do different things, and super talented, and they too have a very well coached team that's got a lot of they got a lot of experience. They return 3 guys who started last year, and then the 2 guys that are in that position and coming in and playing starting for them this year both played last year and did some good things for them last year in spot minutes, and they're becoming bigger contributors, and they start 3 seniors and a junior, and I think 2 juniors maybe, and then they bring a couple guys off the bench that are super athletic and hard to handle, and that just makes it, it's a good basketball team.
Yeah, it's no Notre Dame was ranked 4th in the state. Are you guys getting any close to the rankings at all, you think, by anybody? Or
I don't even look at that, Dave.
Well,
No.
I might not be looking at it either because it seems like in other sports I'm looking at it all the time, but I haven't really been paying attention to it this year.
I don't even know. I know that you have different ones, but yeah.
Well,
They'll come out. They come out with the state does a ranking thing, and they have a crew that votes on them, and in each level, and it's something new they started a couple years ago, and they have a committee of 4 or 5. Some of them are retired coaches, and some are people who just follow basketball immensely and write about it and do things, and those guys are they're watching those teams and seeing who they think should be ranked, and I can't control that, nor do I want to. And
well,
the whole thing is like those guys are doing what they think is best, and man, all we can do is play basketball.
well, I got there and look a lot of teams, and I tell you, I'm impressed with what you got going. Impressed with your record, and I was impressed with what I saw. And I like the Meepo people. I had a lot of nice comments, and I appreciate the fans over there that listen to Round Guy Radio, and we've been around for 5 years, and you guys have been with us from the beginning, and you give us so many great highlights, and last night was another great night with Meepo on there. Well, let's talk a little bit. Well, is there anything else about this game you want to talk about? Was there any other stats or any other players you wanted to mention?
Like you said, I mean, we got contributions from everybody, and that's big. And we're building up, coming. JV wise, we had a good game, and those guys won and did a nice job. And we'll see. Some of those guys are practicing with us and doing things, and if we can get to that next level with them and build them up, that's the next group. So
man, I wish I could organize.
There's one or two in there that might be able to, a couple that have a chance to maybe help us as we go down the road here, as we keep going. So
I'd like to do a JV invitational. You know what I mean? A Round Guy JV invitational. We set up in a gym, and I invite the schools in, and I just really like JV sports. So we're gonna have one game on this week with Sigourney and Pekin Saturday, but you got other games coming up. I was going to ask you about who you play coming up here. You mentioned some of it.
yeah, we play Wilton on tomorrow at Wilton, and it's like it'll be JV boys, varsity girls, varsity boys, and then we play Friday. We go to Danville, same schedule, JV boys, varsity girls, varsity boys, and then next week we turn around and play. I think it's West Burlington on Tuesday, and then on Friday it's got to be Van Buren, doesn't it?
Well,
I don't get too far ahead. You got me thinking too much.
I don't want to get your focus kind of disseminated there, but yeah, there's a lot of great teams out there, and you're handling business pretty well, Coach. I'm really proud of the way you judge a team by their record, and your record tells me you're pretty good, but you continue to go out there night after night and play big time teams every night. How did you get ready? I mean, how about the Christmas? It didn't seem like the Christmas break affected you too much.
We came out all right. We like, I'll be honest, there's a lot of different philosophies about what you do. Do you go scrimmage? Do you do this? We chose to do. We got done with school on the 19th, and we played on the 19th, and then we practiced on the 22nd and 23rd before Christmas, and then gave them off the 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th. We gave them 4 days off, and then came back and practiced started on that Sunday, the 28th, and practiced through the 1st, and then played on the 2nd. So, we didn't go scrimmage anybody. We kind of focus on us and trying to build up the things that we need to do with us, and our kids are really receptive about we practice at 6:30 in the morning, and we go 6:30 to 8, and we just went an hour and a half each day and kept them fresh, and just trying to do little things and tweak us.
Yeah.
Make sure we're getting better for us, and then start focusing each game. And we do a scouting report, but we don't do. I mean, we just got each team and give them the report on what they do. And you could, if you watched that last night, we had places where they were running sets and our guys were ready and calling it out and knowing where they were going. I mean, that's just being intelligent basketball players.
Yeah, it's not all every night that all 5 players are on the same page, but you were all reading the same book last night. Really enjoyed seeing your team, Coach. I don't got any more questions for you, but is there anything you want to talk about that we didn't get a chance to talk about?
No, I'm just happy to be on, and thank you for doing this for the kids. I mean, it's nice. That's a nice thing, and you do a good job of spreading the word about them, and
Well, it's
people appreciate that.
yeah, Southeast Iowa was a kind of a big area, and I've kind of divided up into 3. There's the Mississippi River, a part of it, and then there's the part I live in, and there's the part in between, which is like the Columbuses and L&Ms and the Winfield Mount Unions and then then there's the parts, the Wacos, to everything between Waco and Sigourney is pretty much my home territory down here. But this week we got a great mix for everybody. Tomorrow night we will be at Lone Tree for Columbus and Lone Tree, and I think that's going to be a pretty good matchup, and we're excited to be doing that. And then Saturday we'll have Pekin and Sigourney, the JV game at 2, and then the varsity game 3:30 or something like that Saturday afternoon. So little something for everybody, but you guys did a great job of kicking it off last night, and it's been interesting getting down there. I usually only got down there, usually only had the budget to go down there a couple times a year, so I may see you guys once and maybe at Fort Madison or Keokuk or something once. Last year we did a doubleheader with Fort Madison and Keokuk, but the parents down there at Holy Trinity have been sponsoring the games, and we've been able to get down there about once a week, and that's basketball heaven down there. You guys really, really like the basketball. People are so nice and friendly, and everybody's oriented towards it. And there's a different level, and it's a little different type of basketball than we play up here. But it's been a joy to be down there, and we had good numbers. Over 200 people watched that game last night. I mean, so far, and it's getting out there. But everybody, Mount Pleasant and West has coverage, and everybody East doesn't, as far as it's on YouTube or Facebook, or if they're on Huddle. If they don't have that Huddle app, they don't have access to all that. But man, it's a pleasure to be down there, because you don't have any competition. There's only one game to watch, and everybody down there is watching it, so they definitely love their basketball down there. And there's a lot of people that grew up around there that don't live. They live in Texas and Florida and Lake of the Ozarks, and we hear from them while they're watching too. And it's just a pleasure to be able to bring these sports. And it's going to be exciting to bring arena football back to Round Guy Radio. And we're going to get you a front row seat for all that professional. I'm excited about being part of a professional team. That's kind of my dream. I feel like I ain't too bad in 5 years to be the voice of the Cedar Rapids Titans.
There you go.
All right. Well, thanks for being with us. I really enjoyed talking to you. So I was down there looking at that. I was trying to figure out which one of your 2 coaches I like better, but I couldn't figure it out. So I guess it's a tie. But
all right,
a couple good guys and good teams, and we enjoy you. And thanks for being with us.
All right, thanks.